Evet, az önce Rem'in evinden çıktık. Evine gezdik. Bize terasını gösterdi. Bütün Amsterdam'ı görüyor. Birazdan videoları koyarım buraya. Şimdi gidiyoruz. Tek botlarına gidiyoruz. Bot gezisi yapacağız. Light show varmış. Kanalda bot gezisi yapacağız onlarla beraber.
Hello, my love. It's getting cold on this island.
Talking about
I'm sad alone. I'm so sad on my own. The truth is, we were much too young. Now I'm looking for you, or anyone like you.
Buradaki best arkadaşımız Rem ile bot turuna çıkıyoruz. Bugün ışık şovları falan izleyeceğiz. Hava çok güzel bu arada.
O inanılmaz iyi.
İnanılmaz iyi. This year's the 13th edition. Amsterdam Light Festival always has a theme to give the artist a certain direction. Sometimes the artist maybe smoked too much weed, I don't know, but sometimes the outbursts are really creative and abstract. But the themes this year are rituals and 750 years of Amsterdam. So next year Amsterdam is celebrating 750 years, and the whole year before, so this year we celebrate a lot of stuff and we have a lot of events and festivities for that. So some art objects can be related to 750 years Amsterdam, and other ones are more related to the theme rituals, which can be telling stories about different cultures or countries, or maybe the rituals we do ourselves every week or every day or every year maybe. We start with some objects on this part of water. I have to say, these are my least favorite objects. So we start slow and then we end with a bang. Here is the Scheepvaarthuis. It's like a ship's company's building. This is built in 1910. So it's typically Dutch architecture. We call it Amsterdam school style architecture. And it's a Spanish artist who made sort of geometrical projections on this building. He did it with two other things coming up, and those three elements, so this building, and the next one is water, and the next one is Nemo, which looks like a sinking ship. He tries to connect it with each other. And that's all about the story and the history of Amsterdam being a big trading city with a lot of ships and surrounded by water. And so the ship's company's building, and the other canvas will be water, and then the Nemo Science Museum, the building which looks like a ship sticking in the water, he tries to connect it with his projections. It's a whole story, you know. Yeah, so here another projection, geometrical projections, and he uses water as his canvas. So it's a big sort of fountain, and because of the water drops, you can project something on top of it. And of course, water we need to sail. Right, we will pass the ship's museum. Ship's Museum, the white building, used to be one of the bigger warehouses of the famous Dutch East Indian Trading Company. It's a 17th century building. It's now a museum, and it's directly connected with a replica of an old trading ship. With these kind of ships, they went all the way down to South Africa, and then Indonesia, Vietnam, Japan, India, carrying lots of spices back to Amsterdam, but also tea and coffee and loads of sugar. Sugar was also a big thing back then. So they made a lot of money with this company, this typically Dutch company. I have to say, most of the products were made out of on plantations where slaves worked, because it was a big slave period. So things were produced really cheap, far away, and sold here for high prices. That's why this city became so rich, actually. The first three things you learn as a kid in Holland is definitely swimming. The other one is biking, and then we come to ice skating. So the three things you learn is biking, swimming, and ice skating. To ice skate, we need some cold winters, so natural ice can be formed, and then you can properly ice skate. It's not happening all the time anymore, unfortunately. In my memory, every winter at least 2 or 3 weeks of natural ice, but not anymore. There's always a guy who approves or not approves the strength of the ice, if people can go and have fun. This small house is the house of that ice master. But as you can see, it's temporarily closed until the canal freezes, which can take a while, maybe. Just to give you an impression how cold it was long ago. We have the Elfstedentocht, which is like up north. It's like a big ice skating competition on natural ice, 200 kilometers. You go along 11 cities, you get a stamp, and if you finished every city of those 11, you get a medal. So you're the hero. Every 10 years, at least one or maybe twice, we had that competition because of good cold winters. But the last time when that was organized was in 1997.
1997?
So after 1997 there were no cold winters anymore for that ice skate competition.
That's so sad.
Yeah. If that would happen again, then probably Holland will go to that ice skate competition to watch all the people. A bit further on the canal, on the left-hand side, it's a strike of light in the park. Funny enough, they did it next to a tree, so something you should never do is find shelter underneath a tree if it's thunder and rainy. The strike of light is something they use also in a lot of mythological stories, and like Zeus carrying his strike of light as a sort of symbol of power. So it is something really powerful, and it is something made by nature, which is quite beautiful, but it can also be really dramatic. It tells the story about rituals in different cultures where people celebrate different phases of somebody's life. Different ages are celebrated. For example, in the Jewish culture, if you go 12 or 14, we have bar and bat mitzvahs, and other cultures also have those celebrations for different ages. This is symbolizing that, and if people would walk through the tunnel of light, the color around the person changes with that person. If he goes through. And the artist wants to tell the story that the color changes because if you grow older, the perception of the world around you also changes. You will see different phases of the moon. And the moon is also used in a lot of different rituals throughout the world. It can be all different. A full moon tells something, or a blood moon, the color of the moon, or half moon. The artist also wants to tell us that we all look to the same moon, but if we are at the same time in the same day on different places on the planet Earth, we see the moon in different phases. And the picture you see of the moon is the actual moon, so it's not something fantasized. It's literally a print of how the moon looks. There's 65 different canals, which are all man-made, but the Amstel River is a natural river. It's also why the city has its name, because they placed a dam on the river Amstel and it became Amsterdam. And at some point in our language, a lot of words with an L became words with an R, so it became Amsterdam at some point. Skinny bridge on the left hand side, the lighted up bridge. It's a small skinny bridge, not a skinny bitch, but a skinny bridge. Still functions, still opens. And in front of us, so the next art object, we came from the moon, but we now go to the sun, and it's inspired by the movement of the sun around the planet. So it's not in a round shape, but it's in more like an oval shape. That's why at some points on the Earth close to the equator it's hotter than on the North Pole, for example. And if the sun turns on planet Earth more close, then it becomes more hot. So we go through those sun circles actually, and the closer the sun circle gets, the more red it gets. You have to look around the boat a bit to the front, because it's a projection next to the bridge coming up. It's made together with school children. It's every year a school project, and the children were asked also like, where do you think of if you think of rituals? What kind of rituals do you have as children? maybe playing with each other, or maybe if somebody falls, do you automatically lift that person up? Now, everything they thought of in the theme rituals, you can see left and right on the from the bridge. Different scenes of kids. The one coming, I can tell. I will tell the story of the artist and my own story a little bit. The story of the artist is that these fish, which you will see, are koi fish. Has really famous Asian fish, which can be quite expensive. I never knew, but koi fish normally swim upstream. I didn't. Did you know? No, I also did not know. And because they swim upstream, they're a symbol for discipline and power. And because of that, he made this artwork out of it. My own story is that the canals used to be an open storage system when they were created in the 17th century, so it was quite smelly. But since 2005, everything is connected here. Every houseboat needs to be connected to the storage lines, making the canals really clean and quite high quality. And because of that, we now have 75 different species of fish living in the canals. So fish and the humans go well together in these canals nowadays. So because you also see some humans flying, but it's beautifully made, and it's beautifully made because it's made out of material which reflects the light super good. It's only reflecting the light. There's a spot on the artwork, and it looks like it's giving light, but it's cool. And another fish coming up on this side. I breathe really shit. If I lift something, I stop breathing, so I needed to do some courses. But we all can be relaxed a little bit and meditate now, because if the pillars turn blue, we inhale 6 seconds. If they turn more yellow and go dark, we exhale 8 seconds. You can get. But on the right hand side, a little bit similar like the crows, similar style, but walking in Amsterdam. And sometimes also accidents happens in rush hour here. If people go to work, we have some crossings which can be quite exciting to go on a bike.
Hello, my love. It's getting cold on this island. I'm sad alone. I'm so sad on my own. The truth is, we were much too young. Now I'm looking for you, or anyone like you.
Thank you guys. See you tomorrow. Oh yeah. Thank you so much. Nice meeting you. You're welcome. Thanks. Thanks.
Evet, şimdi tekne turumuz bitti. Işık şovlarını izledik. Evet, güzeldi. Bugünkü vlogun sonuna geldik. Bye. Lan bu nasıl olabilir? Simülasyon hata verdi.